Okay, so now that we're out of the initial story stuff, we get a bit of time to breathe, really, so we get a bit of time to just chill and enjoy Lazulis City.
Hub of culture and trade. Naturally, it drew all manner of visitors from across the empire. Sailors, merchants, traveling entertainers and knights errant, and of course, mercenaries. All were drawn to the city by the lure of fame and fortune. Yet only a lucky few would ever taste the success they longed for.
And so we begin Chapter 4, Lazulis City. Technically this is a very short chapter, because you just need to run to a particular spot after doing certain stuff. But there are quite a few side quests that we can start already. By speaking to the fortune teller, she will, or he, I'm not quite sure. The fortune teller will eventually tell you to go into the shop of Horace, which is just on the corner. The fortune teller's got, well, main purpose is for 2 side quests. As you're going to see throughout this part, and I believe the next part as well, the side quests in this game are very kind of organic, but yes, here's Horace.
Would you be a traveler, perhaps? Then you've made the right choice visiting my shop. Please, come right in.
So basically, okay, keep speaking, Horace.
You just so happen to be my 1000th customer.
That's very lucky.
What a wonderful moment. Oh, to think that this day has finally arrived. To celebrate this occasion, I would like to offer you a one-time only free weapon or equipment upgrade. What shall I upgrade?
Now, so as you can see, Horace is an upgrade shop. Now this is something that you're going to want to do, because having upgraded equipment is very, very helpful. Although frequently you will find weapons that are stronger than what you've upgraded to. So you may want to leave this free upgrade until kind of later on, because you could then potentially get a very expensive upgrade for free. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna use it on something already. So you can upgrade your weapons and your equipment, and doing so will kind of, as well as increasing the attack power and the magic attack power, they will also kind of sometimes get added bonuses. So like the Rogue Edge deals 1.5 slash damage, and also potentially steals from enemies. And as you upgrade higher up, the more kind of powerful that gets. Also, you can get random items from people just by seeking them. You'll know when they're going to give you something, or will kind of respond to you, because the seek icon will turn red, and you've got to keep it on them for a little while. So yes, the entirety of Lazulis City is open for us to explore, and there's a lot to do, which is why pretty much this part and the next part, if I recall correctly, are completely side quests. I mean, this place is huge and you can explore it all at will. Unfortunately, you will end up getting slowed down as you run through, and I can't say some of the animation is particularly phenomenal. I mean, this sweeping lady here is probably not the best sweeping lady I've ever seen in my life. But yes. Now the dragon skins can be quite important. if you collect 5 of them, then you can... oh, okay, plot happening already. This is going to happen to you eventually at some point, so watch out for it.
It's just you, Dagran. You surprised me there.
I would have
Surprised me
settled with a
too.
Simple hello.
Well, you shouldn't sneak up on me like that. Did you want something?
Yeah. I hear a company of knights is visiting the city. I thought you might want to take a look.
Oh, really? I don't know how you find these things out so quickly.
I have my ways. Anyway, I thought you might be interested. Guess I'll see you there.
Wait, Dagran! Why do you always have to run off like that? Dagran!
So you can choose to meet up with him later, and now basically what you're going to have to do is avoid, I believe it's the Castle Gate Plaza at all costs. Or at least avoid going at it from a certain entrance. Now, as I did mention earlier, the soundtrack for the last story is done by Nobuo Uematsu. I said that so terribly.
If you manage to find them all, I'll give you my greatest treasure. So,
I'll discuss that shortly, because we have this boy challenging us
so hang on a minute.
to get toy coins.
Okay,
Oh,
I've
God, that
hidden
voice
6
acting.
coins in total. They're super shiny, so you'll know them when you see them. Good luck searching.
I will give props to the main cast for their performances in this game. I will not, however, give props to the people who voice acted those children. Oh my god. Literally, the children in this game have horrifically bad voices. It's just terrifying. Like, seriously terrifying.
What was that for?
It's unreal how terrifying it is. Anyway, as we go searching for our toy coins and do more side quests, including seeking things, I'll get back on to talking about... oh, never mind. Right, here we have a little girl who is part of a side quest that is ongoing
Hi
throughout
there.
the game.
You must have only just arrived on this island, huh? I mean, that was just too easy.
Haha! Got you wallet, big guy! We don't want no mercenaries here. Never met a decent one. If you think you can catch us, the Orchid Gang, then go ahead and try.
You'll never spot us if you keep staring down at the ground. Well, see ya.
So yes, we have the Orchid Gang here who steal 100 gold from us, and we have to go chasing after them. If you want to know where the one who's stolen your money is, just follow me. I know where I'm going. And depending on which point in the story you are with them, depends on where they are. It's always the same location at the same time, so don't have to worry about it in that respect.
Ah, you found me! Guess you're not as dumb as I thought. You know, you're pretty sharp for a worthless mercenary.
Oi!
You want your wallet back?
No calling us
Fine,
worthless,
you
mate.
can have it.
And we'll give you this too, so hurry up and leave the island, okay? It's not as though this place has any future, anyway.
God, they're depressing. Anyway, as I was saying about Nobuo Uematsu, in the limited edition, they there was a soundtrack which was kind of just a few songs. It's not that many, 7 songs, and an art book. And in the soundtrack, there's a little kind of notes from both Nobuo Uematsu and Hironobu Sakaguchi. And it's just very interesting to see what they said about the music. Because obviously the two work together for Final Fantasy, and it's just quite interesting to see how their relationship changed with the last story. So basically, Nobuo Uematsu said, after working in a particular field for many years, you develop your own way of doing things without even noticing. This can be useful if you want to work as efficiently as possible and hit deadlines, but it can also mean your work begins to conform to a certain pattern. It's like a condition that has you in its grasp, and it's difficult to heal, mainly because you, personally, are the cure for this condition. As humans, we tend to stick to our habits, continually choosing the easier path. As a composer, perhaps I'd fallen into this trap of taking the easy path. I suppose I'd convinced myself it was fine to do so. With the last story, I tried to change the way I worked. It was a challenge, but I also became confident that I was capable of changing. Underpinning all this was Mr. Sakaguchi's unflinching commitment to this game. I assume that for him, like me, the last story represented a fresh challenge. Yes, even at our age, challenges do still come along. And then, from Hironobu Sakaguchi, there was, I've known Mr. Uematsu for almost 25 years. Due to our work on Final Fantasy, we are old and trusted friends. However, with this project things were slightly different. I was so focused on creating a fresh gaming experience that for the first time in 25 years, I told Mr. Uematsu that the first version of his music was completely useless. We didn't speak for a month after that. It was a hard and painful time. Then an email from Mr. Uematsu finally arrived. New music was attached, along with a message saying, "If this is not okay, I'll quit." I opened the file, and in the second of silence before the audio came from my speakers, my heart was in my mouth. I was terrified. And then the music began to build, and I thought, this is it. There was an ensemble of melodies that exceeded my expectations. It was like I'd been hit on the head. The beauty made me dizzy. The way I felt was also down to the tension of the moment, and I cried a little as I listened. From the bottom of my heart I thought, thank you, Mr. Uematsu. When I was playing the finished game, the beautiful melody seemed to envelop everything. For me, this is true bliss. I hope that everyone who plays the last story will feel the same way. And I think there's just lovely kind of little kind of anecdotes in there that just kind of, it adds to kind of the human element of the game, and it, as I've said before, that's something that's very much a thing with the last story. It's all about the kind of human element and the characters, and I like that. It's fun. Now, basically what I'm doing right now is just running about trying to find side quests and do everything that's available to us right now. I'm always going to do side quests as they come up, so don't worry about missing any. Also, trying to find all the chests, because there are quite a lot of them dotted about Lazulis Island, so keep an eye out. Now, the song that you are kind of hearing throughout Lazulis Island is called, well, roughly translated as, like, Timbre of the City. Because even though it's a quite kind of quiet and chill song, it's very nice. I really do like it. It's perhaps not as spectacular as, like, the theme of the last story, or, some of the other tracks. But what can you expect from the song that plays whilst you're running around the peaceful town of Lazulis? Because at the minute it is peaceful. And there's no other way of describing it, really. One thing that I didn't bring up whilst I was going through those anecdotes was that as you enter a new area in Lazulis Island, you'll get a kind of establishing shot of the area, which is quite cool. Dude, kind of, yeah, get off him. That's being mean. Don't. No. Oh dear. Looks like Lazulis isn't quite as peaceful as I would have hoped, eh? Now, if you sit down at this bench here, then you get this conversation with this elderly man, which is, it's a nice little kind of mini side quest, I suppose. Now, depending on how you answer this question, depends on what you get. If you say good business acumen, then you get gold. If you say being strong, then you get increase to the party's stats. So, I have to say I always prefer to go for extra party stats, because that's far more helpful than getting extra gold, which you are not going to need. Yes, you're going to use gold, but you are going to get enough in dungeons to be able to fund pretty much everything. And if you aren't getting enough money to fund everything, then you can sell the weapons that you'll be getting. So you're going to get loads, so I wouldn't worry about that. Now you've got loads of shops around here, which you can buy stuff from. The reason we are currently buying food is because of a side quest which we are going to do shortly. So I'm just getting the stuff before we go speak to the person who's going to ask us to get the stuff, so that I don't have to come all the way back here. I don't really find the market that helpful, but because pretty much the single most useful place that you are going to go to is Horace's shop. If you need to kind of do anything, Horace's shop is your kind of best bet, because you don't need to buy any of the food stuff. And you don't need to, I mean, because you can change the colours of your equipment using dyes, but if you aren't bothered about that, then you don't need to buy any dyes, so the dye shop's useless. There's really very little point in you going to the weapon and equipment shop, because you're going to pick up lots of equipment in dungeons. And frequently that means that you won't have to upgrade them as much. So a lot of the shops are useless, but they are options that you have if you want them to be useful. I mean, that's pretty much the case with Lazulis Island, is that none of what happens is important. It's just almost like everyday life, really. But it's there if you want to do it, and I think that's kind of a slightly nicer way of doing side quests than perhaps the slightly more forced way. So even though the game doesn't really indicate that these things are here,
I get the feeling this stuff has been falling more often lately.
Ooh. Extra dialogue.
Beautiful, but what exactly is it?
Didn't last very long, did it? Oh well.
I get the feeling this stuff has been...
Now, annoyingly, you do end up hearing lots of repeated dialogue as you run about the town, but there's not a lot we can do about it, really. So, that's pretty much one half of the island, well, the city explored. I guess it's time to head on over and explore the other half, with probably one of the more awesome things in it. Yay!